All right, so a real quick story about Drew Bobo and his father Mike. I went out to visit Mike when he was the head coach at Colorado State in 2015 in the spring, and this was when I guess at that point Drew was like an eighth grader or somewhere in that point, and we were talking about our children at the time. And Drew, of course, being the oldest one, was the one that Mike Bobo had the stories about. And the one story that sticks out to me the most about Bobo is not a football story; it's a basketball story. And I can't remember where the story took place. I don't know if it was in Colorado or if it was in Georgia, but I was talking to Mike about how I wanted my kids to have the ability to stand up by themselves. And of course, if you've been around Mike Bobo in any way at all, you know how he starts getting this like cackle laugh that he gets going. And he started laughing about it because he knew the same thing. He talked about the time that his son Drew, who is just committed to the Georgia Bulldogs, a flip from the Auburn Tigers, um, had fallen on the ground during a basketball game, and there he was. And I think I remember him saying that his father, Drew's grandfather, was there as well. I mean, Mike's dad is a pretty legendary head coach in Georgia high school football, and they just started screaming at Drew, "Get up! Get up!" And I felt like it was the same way, or is the same way with my children. Hey, you get knocked down, you need to get up by yourself. Well, we've seen the Bobos get knocked down here lately. Mike was terminated by Auburn, and it seems like Auburn is in complete disarray. And so there was no one thought that Drew Bobo would stick with Auburn. We were expecting that he would get to Georgia one way or the other, and now he's made it quasi-official. He'll make it official on Wednesday at signing day. But I keep saying Drew Butler, who is most certainly not an offensive lineman, but Drew Bobo on the way to Georgia, a relatively tall kid prospect who can add weight. He's about 300 right now. I would say that he's not fully developed, but that the offensive line is the one spot where you can really change what you've got in a player in an extended period of time. I mean, to some degree, with DBs, you've got what you see is what you get. That's not always the case with offensive linemen. And I don't know, where he will play. I mean, is he going to play tackle for sure? If he is going to play tackle, you start talking about a 6'6", 310, 315 pound player, which he will gain 15 pounds in college. That's a different ball game. He's not what people are going to consider elite, but the dad was a multi-year starter at Georgia in a skill position. Although at the time that Mike and Kirby were playing there, the skill ain't what it used. The skill now ain't what it used to be. That's for sure. And I don't. I kind of like this. I don't think you want to go overboard with this stuff. I think at Clemson we kind of got a little bit carried away with this sort of stuff, but Auburn, Georgia offered Bobo in the spring and or early summer, spring, whenever it was, and then he had that offer, and obviously he still has this offer. This is I know what everybody watching this is thinking, and I cannot refute it. Okay. But I don't think that this is exclusively a favor to Mike Bobo. Okay. Mike is not on the staff at Georgia. You know who is on the staff? Will Muschamp. His son Jackson is not on scholarship. So Kirby Smart isn't just giving these things away. And I do not see it that way at all. Do I think that, this is a position of need for Georgia in the near future? Yeah, I do. And I think that you're talking about a player who has the genes of a Division I athlete. That's a good start. Okay, that's a good start. That he has getting close to the prototypical size. Although you'd like him to be a little bit heavier, he will gain weight. But I'm not surprised by this at all. And we're just going to see. The challenge for Drew will be that he will hear only that his daddy got him this, and that's what he's going to get to confront his entire time at Georgia. Congratulations, Drew. You have You welcome to college football. At least you're not a quarterback. Then you'd really be getting. You should have seen what Mike Bobo went through at Georgia. It was not just as a player, not even talking about as a coach. So we're going to see that now. Whenever his time comes, just like everybody else, he's going to have to produce. Now, he's not different than the younger players at Georgia right now. Blasky, Kenny, Willock, those are younger guys that are on their way to developing. You've got Matt Luke's not just going to take guys either. I mean, there's only 85 scholarships, and he's going on as a full ride to Georgia. I'm sure Mike and his wife Laney are excited that she's got a tradition at Georgia longer than Mike's, that people can look that up themselves when they want to. But this is not about Mike. This is about Drew. And if he wasn't going to go there, it'd have been, Virginia, Kentucky, Auburn, somewhere. It would have been somewhere. But there's no possible way he would have wound up at Auburn. Not after your father was let go, and certainly with the. I don't know what's going on at Auburn right now. Like it doesn't look good. And I know some folks in that situation over there, and that's a curious um, that's a curious spot to be in right now. But how long was he really gonna you know seriously consider going to Auburn? I think not very long. But you got offers like Tennessee, South Carolina, Oregon. I don't know if Dan Lanning would extend him an offer or not. Of course, everything's going to change there. So no, he's not a heavy hitter on the recruiting trail. But it's the one spot. I mean, honestly, where you really can develop guys. If he's anything like his dad, he's smart, he's football crazy, and he's got Division I genes. Well, obviously he does at this stage, but he's going to have to prove it. I mean, this isn't going to be. I mean, the thing that Drew Bobo will have to deal with more than anything is your dad got you this, and that is an uncomfortable and a lot of times unfair thing. So it's up to him to go out there and whip some ass. He's got the size. He could certainly grow into a 6'6", 315-pound tackle. If you got the feet, then this is not about size. So he's almost there on the size front. God, let's just hope he can surround himself with really good players like his dad did. That was why Mike was successful, and Mike was a leader too. People are going to forget that part, but uh, this is a big day for Drew Bobo as we get closer and closer to Georgia trying to nab the number 1 class in the country. We're going to see. They're going to need some stuff to get going their way a little bit, and they're going to need Alabama and Texas A&M to not kind of end with a flourish, but a flurry, excuse me. But we'll just see. And but I mean, listen, hey, congratulations to Drew and anybody who is signing with a Division I school like the likes of which, like Georgia, Bama, Auburn, wherever you have succeeded in life so far. But for Drew, it's going to be what is it going to look like in 2024? Where will Drew Bobo be in 2024? That's the real question here. It's not on, that's the real question for everybody in this 22 class. But for Drew, hey, get up off the ground when you get knocked down. You'll be fine. We'll see you over on Dog Post.